Hi, I'm Bob Rizzo. I'm very pleased to present to you this pre-ballet class with Mary Carpenter, also known as Miss Mary. Mary has performed at the Metropolitan Opera here in New York. She teaches dance class at Ballet Hispanico and for the Young Students program at Steps on Broadway. She's also an expert point shoe fitter at Capezio Ballet Makers. Take it away, Miss Mary.
Hi, I'm Miss Mary, and welcome to my class. I enjoy teaching young students, and I'd like to share with you a few things that I know have worked very well for me. First, my music is ready to go. My studio is well lit and very clean. I've got a tissue box ready to go, so we don't have to run to the bathroom every time we need a tissue. I've also got a waste paper basket for chewing gum, goes out immediately, even before we come in the classroom. I've also got my X on the floor so the young students know where to sit. I have my magazines all ready to go for them to look at when they come in. And I like to have my students line up right outside the classroom so they know the class is beginning even before they step in the room. They come in one at a time, they do a curtsy, they come and they sit around the X, and it looks like we're ready to begin. I've got my music for entering the room. My young students look ready. I know I'm ready. I've got my magazines ready. My room is ready. I think we can begin. Okay, everybody pick out a pose. Ruby, have you got one that you like? Maybe you look through that one and that one. Okay, can we collect the magazines, Kate, and put them nice and neat in the corner? We get ready to start. Thank you, Ruby, for helping out. That's nice. Okay. It looks like we're ready to start class. I like to call this pizza pie. My young students are sitting here in a circle and we're all slices of a pizza going right into the middle. At this time we do a jewelry check. No jewelry, right? Nice and clean. We have our ballerina buns, right? Everybody's got their ballerina buns. We've got our uniforms on. And I also like to say that the strings on the ballet slippers are like whiskers of a kitten. We're going to tuck our whiskers in. Ladies, can we tuck our strings in? Let me help Ruby out here. We tie them off a little bit, not pulling the drawstring too tight. And we're going to tuck them right in. And dancers, can you all check your strings too? That's great. There we go. And we tuck them in. So everybody looks nice and beautiful. Okay, we're finished with pizza pie. We're ready to begin our class. I like to call this exercise flowers open, flowers close. It helps a young student relax. It's the first exercise we do. It's very good for students to learn to breathe and stretch and move, and then they curl up into a fetal position, which is very comforting. We're going to lay down on the floor and alternate, stretching our body out. Reach and reach and reach and reach. Then we curl up into the tiniest little ball as tight as you can go. Once again, we're going to stretch and reach, fingertips and toes far, far away, and then curl up into the tiniest little ball. We reach next time, stretching the fingers up to the sky. Once again, curling up. Then the last time we're going to reach, trying to make our toes the loveliest banana shape, reach for the sky, curl up into the tiniest little ball. We finish by sitting up. Flowers open, flowers close. It's a wonderful relaxation exercise. Okay, let's lay down and get ready to stretch our bodies. And stretch your fingers and toes far, far away. Now I want you to curl into the tiniest little ball. And reach fingers and toes far, far away. And curl in, curl in. Okay, this time reach for the sky, reach for the sky, reach those fingertips, stretch them up. Now curl in, tiny little ball. And this time, stretch those toes up, stretch them up. And then finish, tiny little ball. Okay, can we sit right up and finish with a good back? I like to call this exercise balloons. We have the image of a big round balloon right there in front of your belly button. We're going to put that balloon there and we breathe out, exhale, letting our air out of the balloon, and then we sit way, way tall, filling the balloon up full of good air. Once again, we breathe out, curling over, and then we sit up very tall, nice and tall. This image is of a bad back, and then we give a good back. So the student can recognize breathing out, exhaling, curling over, bad back, sitting up, very tall, with a good back. And they also learn to associate breathing with movement. Balloons. This is a terrific exercise for breath and to recognize the difference between a good back and a bad back. Okay, get out your big balloon. And breathing out. And breathing in. Here's our good back. Good, okay, breathe out. And then sitting up very tall. Okay, breathe out, let your air go. Let the air out of your balloon. Bad back, now we sit up. Very good back. Okay, one more time, and breathing out. And then up, 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 and let's finish. This exercise is called diamond toes. I was having problems trying to get my young students to stretch their feet as much as they could. And I thought the image of a shiny jewel, some kind of sparkly thing right on the toes would help them emphasize to work their feet. On this exercise, we'll flex the feet up and point them forward. Once again, we flex them up. Look at the diamonds yourself. Now show the diamonds off to your friends. Everybody likes shinies, so we go up and over. We'll alternate one foot and the other for isolation and control. Diamond toes. How to learn to point and flex. Okay, get out your diamonds. Okay, now take a look at those diamonds. Now show them off to your friends. And take a look at the diamonds. And show them off to your friends. Take a look at your diamonds. Show them off. Good, and feet up to the sky. And stretch them forward. Now your right toe first. And up. And point. Good, okay. Other side. Over. And one toe up. And stretch it over. And one toe up. Okay, and let's finish with a really good back. Beautiful. Peanut butter and jelly. This is a great exercise for hip flexibility. What we're going to do is we're going to sit in a butterfly stretch, and all kids like peanut butter and jelly, right? So we're going to make a sandwich. We're going to put a little bit of peanut butter on one side, a little bit of jelly on the other, put them together, take a big bite. Then we come up and we're going to go on a butterfly hunt, a picnic. We're going to look for butterflies. Once again, we're going to take a bite of our sandwich and come up and butterfly wings. The next 2 times we reach forward to increase the stretch, and once again bouncing our butterfly wings. Reach forward again, come up, bounce those butterfly wings. Peanut butter and jelly. Taking a bite of the sandwich helps the student reach for the toes. Butterfly wings helps loosen up the knees. Before we do peanut butter and jelly feet, I'd like to introduce you to my terrific young students. They're wonderful demonstrators. We have Ruby right here. This is Allison. This is Kate. And this is Sophie. Okay, everybody get your peanut butter. Get your jelly. Take a bite. Now, look for those butterflies. Now, take another bite. And look for those butterflies. Okay, now reach. Can you reach? And then bounce those butterfly wings. Okay, reach again. And bounce. Okay, and can we finish with a good back? Chairs and tables. I couldn't help but think students need to work on their abdominals for ballet. So how do we do that? Well, everybody knows how to sit in a chair, right? And you know how flat a table is. So we're going to go chair, chair, chair 3 times and push up into a flat, flat table. We'll do that exercise again. Chair, chair, and chair, and pushing up once again into a table. I like to tell my young students, oh, don't stick your tummy out because your T-set will fall right off your table. A nice flat tummy will help you keep your T-set in place. We'll do that exercise 4 times. Chairs and tables is a terrific way to help young students work on their abdominals. Okay, get ready. Chair, 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 and a nice flat table. Good. Okay, chair, 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 and let's see that flat table. Good. Okay, chair, 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 flat table. Good. Okay, and chair, 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 and table. Don't let that T-set fall. Good, ladies. Okay, come up now. Nice finish. Froggy stretch. It's very important for young students to recognize and work on flexibility. Let's give them the image of a frog catching a fly and reaching up, and they won't know they're stretching out their back, but it's good for them. So we start here, all the way down. We reach up, reach up, reach up. We're a frog, and we're going to try to catch a fly. And lower slowly down. This helps work on arm strength. Reaching up once again, up, up, up. Let's catch a dragonfly this time. And slowly lower down, once again working on arm and chest strength. The 3rd time, we get a tadpole tail, and we touch toes right at the top. My toe touch isn't good, but wait till you see my students. They're terrific. Froggy stretch. It's a great way to work on back flexibility, arm and chest strength. Ready? And way down. Okay, reach up, grab a dragonfly. Okay, now 2, tadpole tail. Choo-choos. This is a great exercise to work on timing and opposition with the arms and legs. And it's actually very beneficial for young students to do scoots on their bottom, alternating sides. We're going to start in a very tight position using our hands and our feet. We're going to stretch way out and push out, finishing with a good back, pulling our train whistle 2 times, and we scoot in, alternating arms and legs all the way in. Once again, we tighten up, push with the hands and feet to stretch out. Give the whistle a pull. You can also incorporate using breath. Choo-choos is a great way for students to work on opposition with the arms and legs. using the breath and rhythm. Here we go, and give it a good push. And then blow your whistle. Okay, choo-choo in. Okay, another big push. Okay, then choo-choo way in. Okay, last one, big push. And how about one last whistle? Okay, good backs to finish too. Good. Rhyming stretches. We're going to use the song Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. In creative movement, they use rhyming stretches all the time. So let's take that same rhyming stretch and put it into a ballet format. Young students love to sing while they're stretching, and we'll give them ballet shapes to make as they sing aloud. We'll start the movement with a stretch forward, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up, above, the world so high. Here we're using our diamond toes from earlier. Then we say like a diamond. Our diamonds go into the sky, in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, stretching forward again, little star, how I wonder what you are. Then we begin to sing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. 5, 6, 7, 8. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Picture frame? Yep. Itsy Bitsy Spider, another great rhyming stretch. Students love to sing and move at the same time. I like to use tunes that are familiar to them and are easy to sing while they do their ballet stretches. We're going to start the Itsy Bitsy Spider, went up the water spout, reaching, stretching up, and down came the rain and washed the spider out, getting a big stretch in second. Out came the sun. Here's a 5th position port de bras, and dried up all the rain, once again stretching the body big. And the Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the spout again. They can either touch their own toes or their friend's toes. Itsy Bitsy Spider is another wonderful way for young students to stretch and sing and move. 5 and a 6 and 7, 8. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Pop-ups. I actually invented this exercise because I was having trouble remembering my young students' names. This is a creative way to get them to say their name out loud, be proud of who they are, and to utilize those ballet poses that they picked earlier from our magazines. The exercise begins with everybody getting in a pre-pop-up position, something you can get off the floor quite easily. And we do one at a time. We count 1, 2, 3. On the fourth count, you're going to pop up, say your name, hit your ballet pose, Miss Mary, and then we'll go to our soldier doll position or a neutral position as we wait for the other students. Pop-ups. It's great for learning their names, and it's wonderful to get the students to recognize ballet poses. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. And 1, 2, 3.
Allison.
Good. And 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Miss Mary. 1, 2, 3.
Kate.
1, 2, 3. Demi-pliés. I like to call this exercise merry-go-round poles. I like to take the image of a merry-go-round pole running right through the middle of the dancer's body. You've ridden those before. They go straight down the pole, and they go straight up. I have my young students face the bar with 2 hands. I find that it keeps their placement nice and square, and that they're able to see themselves in the mirror, and they can identify good posture. Once again, we start with the arms fifth en bas, do a nice gentle preparation onto the bar, bending the knees in demi-plie. We go right down our merry-go-round pole, and we come right up. We finish with the arms fifth en bas. Merry-go-round poles, demi-pliés, an essential element for ballet. Battement tendu. I like to call this exercise pencil legs. Students can recognize the idea of a sharp, sharp pencil going out. We'll stretch that foot out and slide it right back in. There's our sharp, sharp pencil out and coming back in. A third time we go sharp pencil out and coming back in. We go back to a 6th position, or as I call it, closed book. We bend the knees together and slowly recover. We'll repeat that on the left side. Slide the foot out. There's our sharp pencil and bringing the leg in. Sharp pencil out and coming right in. A third time we go sharp pencil out and come in, demi-plie and stretch. And once again, we'll finish with the arms fifth en bas. Battement tendu, pencil legs is a great image to get a stretched foot and a straight knee. Piqués. The floor is too hot to touch. Have you ever tried to touch something that was too hot? You pull your hand right away fast. That image works extremely well with young students. We're going to take our leg out like a sharp, sharp pencil from earlier, and we touch the floor. Just too hot to touch. 2, number 3, and number 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and then we close nice and neat into 6 position on count 8. On the other side, we go, floor is too hot to touch. Piqué out. There we go. Number 6, number 7, and we close very slowly to 6 position, finishing with the arms in fifth en bas. Piqués. The floor is just too hot to touch. Releves. How many times have you seen a young student go up to demi-point and clunk right back down? I've got a great image for that. How about we take 2 big oranges, put them right under our heels. We do our preparation, taking the bar. We're going to rise up and up and up in 6 position, putting those oranges right under there, and we're going to squeeze the oranges and make some orange juice. Once again, we rise up and up and up and up, and we squeeze and make the orange juice. It's not sticky, but it makes us a soft, soft landing. Releves. The image of orange juice works very well for young students to help them learn to control rolling down. Sautés in first position. I like to use the image of a sandwich. We all like sandwiches, don't we? We're going to do a nice preparation, taking the bar, 1 and 2, and plie, sauté, plie. Once again, we go 1 and 2, and plie, sauté, plie. The sandwich comes in with the bread, a plie. We jump, that's the stuff in the middle, whatever you like, and the plie at the end. Once again, here's our sandwich. We have a piece of bread, something in the middle, and a piece of bread at the end. Sauté and sauté sandwiches are a great way to get students to recognize that all good jumps begin and end in plie. Music for walking to the center of the room. I like to make this a special exercise too. We don't just run away from the bar any old way. Let's finish with our arms fifth en bas. Let's turn, and with music, we'll do our best ballet walks, either on flat or on demi-point, walking to the center of the room. When the young students reach the center, I like to have them put their fingertips way, way out, so they stretch out so they're not too close to their neighbor. Then at that time, we put our arms fifth en bas, we get ready to dance in the middle. Walking to the center of the room is an important way to teach students to recognize the grace and the style of a classical ballerina. Shaky shake. How many times have you been at the ballet bar and been very tense? My young students need a little bit of way to relax once they come off the bar. I like to use the idea of shaking or wiggling or moving body parts to help learn isolation, one side against the other, right and left, also to relax. At the very end of everything, we're going to take a big waterfall breath, breathing up, and whoosh, to help us relax. We finish here in our soldier doll position, and we're ready to work on our next exercise. Shaky shake. This is fantastic for getting students to relax, move, and breathe. Beach balls. I like to use creative images for port de bras to bring them alive and bring movement and breath in the young dancer. We're going to start out with our arms fifth en bas. I like to say here's a nice basket of flowers. We're going to bring the basket of flowers up, and at the same time we give a nice big hug to a nice round beach ball. We'll drop the flowers and the beach ball and open out to second position. Here at the end, you can imagine you have roses or daisies at the end of the fingertip. They get watered, going all the way down. We stretch the arms out here. I love to use the image of angels with wings on. It gets the student to breathe and use their back and recognize that the back is an important part of the arms. Maybe perhaps that we can also give ourselves a big hug, nice and round. Then a nice round beach ball. Stretching the arms out. And once again, here's our angel wings, and we'll finish with the arms fifth en bas. Beach balls, a nice round image to get students to use round shapes for port de bras. Spring points. They're a terrific way to get the young students to stretch their feet, alternate one side and the other, while learning to jump. Stretching once again, we'll bounce from side to side. I like to alternate that with some other type of movement. We're going to bounce 4 times looking to the right, and then bounce 4 times looking to the left. A spring point should be executed with a nice pointed foot, a nice big jump, changing from side to side. I like to have young students work in parallel so they don't stress their knees in the turnout. Once again, we do 8 of those, alternating. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we bounce, looking to the right for 4, and looking to the left for 4. Spring points are a fantastic way to get the young student to change weight and also bounce very high. Alternating with the head helps the rhythm and timing. Free movement. It's a great way to help students relax, and they've been working very hard on their technique, so they deserve a reward. I like to use the image of an ice skater pushing along with their skates very fast on the ice. It's a wonderful way also to get young students to help work on leg strength and the sliding movement that is so essential to ballet. We're going to skate from one side to the other. Free movement, ice skating. It's great for leg strength and also a wonderful way to reward students for working so hard. Chassés. They're an important element in ballet. They're based on the rhythm of a gallop. Only in ballet we stretch our feet. We're going to go together and together and together, going along the diagonal to the corner. I like to use the image of Romeo and Juliet. This leg is Juliet, this one is Romeo, and when they come together, Romeo is going to try to steal a kiss. Chassés. They're very important for teaching young students to stretch and move in a gallop rhythm. Skipping is another essential element in ballet. I like to call this the happy day step. It's ballet, so we have to stretch our toes. We go up and up and up and up for the skips. And it's also wonderful for young students to work on skipping backwards. This is very advanced. We're going to skip backwards, working on the rhythm as we go. A step, hop, step, hop. I like to say to my young students, here I am, I'm the catcher, I've got my mitt, I'll catch you. So they feel very safe and comfortable while working backwards. Skipping forward and backwards. It's great for rhythm and timing. Marching, another essential element for the young dancer. It's a different kind of rhythm than chassés and skipping, and it's important for students to listen to different kind of music. So we're going to march from the corner, picking our knees up. Of course, we're going to point our feet because it's ballet, and we stretch and move. You can also have your young student use their arms. My young students will put their hands right here. Marching, it's very important to learn timing and movement. Tightrope walks. I find these help students work on their demi-point walks. If you tell them just to walk on demi-point, they might not. But what if you say, let's walk on a high tightrope and check our balance at the same time. So we're going to go rise up. I've got my line right down here on the floor. I go to demi-point and I go right down the line, balancing, balancing, working on a high, high demi-point. Tightrope walks. It's a great way for young students to work on demi-points and balance at the same time. Reverence. It's the way we say thank you to the teacher, our fellow students, and our assistants for a job well done. We're going to take the arms up to first position, open out to second ever so gently, stretch the arms and lower down, down, down. Once again, we take the arms up to first position, round beach ball from before, open out and stretch our angel wings all the way down to the floor. At the very end, we do a nice bow with our head to say thank you. Reverence. It's an essential element of ballet. I'd like to give you some tips on how to do a ballet bun. I like my young students to have a beautiful, clean, classical line. So I'm going to ask Allison here to help me out. Allison, can you give a nice smile? There we go. The first thing you do is you draw a diagonal line from the smile, right up above the ear, right to the ponytail. She's got it in exactly the right spot. We've got it secured with spray and gel and a few extra pins. We've got a nice ponytail here, right here for her. And because her hair is not too thick and not too long, we can actually take one ponytail and start to twist it around. If you do have a dancer with very long, thick, coarse hair, you want to split the ponytail in half and begin by twisting and circling one side and then the other. We'll show the first example with Allison's hair. I've got some items here that you might find helpful. First, I have some large bobby pins. These are excellent for holding thick, long hair. And we also use more modified hairpins. These are slightly thinner and better for dancers that maybe don't have such thick or long hair. I've also got a few things right here like an invisible hairnet, her hair color. These are great for performances. Or we can use a nice colored hairnet. This makes nice accent. Okay, what I want to do is get a little bit of product in her hair. I've got a non-alcohol hairspray, and I want to just get the hairspray all in the hair right there to make it a little bit more sticky and tacky. It holds the pins a little better. Okay, then I'm going to start to, I can either twist the hair this way, or I can keep it flat, and I'm going to start winding it around. What I want to do at that time is start immediately putting pins in. So we don't just put pins in the end. It helps secure the bun. Once again, I'm going to keep going with pins. I can use my thicker hair pins. If the dancer has extremely long hair, they're very good for holding it. And we twist it all around, all around. I like to say to my dancers, if you do it really well, it looks like a nice Danish right around. And we go around like that. Okay, and let me get one of my thick ones. I go in and in and in. Now, sometimes it is difficult with the young dancer's hair to get everything all together, and that's what the hairnet's for. Also, it finishes out that line very clean. I'm going to pick my invisible hairnet right here for her. I'm going to circle around, catching all the hair, and finally finish it off, twisting that hairnet around, tucking it in nice and neat for a clean classical line. One more tip, dancer's secret, dirty hair. Don't wash your hair that day, but if you insist on washing your hair, don't over condition it. That way the pins stay in and you get a little bit better line going out. I think her ballet bun is ready. I'm here to give you a few tips on good fitting shoes. I've got Kate here helping me out, and I'd like to just show you a few things that I like to look for in a good fit in a young student. You want to pick a brand that you trust, and a shoe that you trust. I happen to like leather shoes because they break in and mold to the dancer's foot. Even with a young student, it also gives them a little bit of resistance when they're working through. And I've chosen a size that's appropriate for what her street shoe size is. Keep in mind though that usually, especially young people, wear their street shoes quite big so they can grow in them. And ballet slippers necessarily are not quite that big. So I'm going to have her put them on. Kate, can I get you to put on one shoe? Thank you. Okay. And the first thing I want to do is just kind of eyeball the fit and see if it's going to work for her. And size-wise, it looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do my little pinch test. This is very important for young students. I want about a thumb of space in the front, but no more than that. This is difficult, I know, for parents who are looking to keep on a budget and not wanting to spend a lot of money on shoes. However, if the shoes do get too big, the young student ends up not being able to articulate their foot, and they also end up playing with the shoes the whole time instead of concentrating on pointing their feet. Okay, we're going to have her try the other one on. Okay, and can I get you to stand up? Okay, can you go to first position, open book? Great. Okay, and I'm taking a look, I'm checking my pinch space. Looks pretty good. Can you do a demi-plie in first position? Here's another test, this is for length. If her toes are comfortable and not curled in a demi-plie, how do they feel?
Good.
Good, yeah, you can wiggle them a little bit. Let's wiggle them. Good, okay. Looks good to me. That's what you want to look for, is that they can wiggle it and that the shoes are not too snug but not too loose. One more thing, we've got our drawstring here. What you want to make sure to look for is in the drawstring. This mistake gets made a lot. We want to be careful of it. You want to take the drawstring and not pull it up towards the dancer's knee. You want to actually pull the drawstring nice and slow and parallel to the floor. When you pull it up towards the knee, it pulls on the Achilles tendon and it can be uncomfortable. When you go very slow and parallel to the floor, it ensures a nice snug fit without harming the dancer's foot. Okay, and then we tuck in those strings nice and neat. And there we have a great fitting shoe.
I'd like to thank Miss Mary and her young dancers for a wonderful class. I'd also like to thank the parents for allowing their children to be a part of this project. Special thanks to Capezio Ballet Makers for the slippers and dancewear, and to Ballet Bars for the use of their portable bar. Thank you.